When the track name Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California comes up, you automatically think sprint car racing, but actually it's sanctioned by the Speedway Motors IMCA weekly racing program, and a driver from Chico, California on the air with this episode of Beyond the Flags is Tyler Rodgers. Rodgers, an established driver in the Friesen Performance IMC Northern SportMods, winner of the championship at Diamond Mountain Speedway in Susanville, California last year, is definitely one of the rising talents of the Golden State. We talked to him about all the wonderful things that he's done in his career, as well as some of the things he's hoping to establish in 2024. That's coming up next. Well, he drives the 44 Friesen Performance IMC Northern Sport Mod from Chico, California. Tyler Rodgers. Tyler, great to have you on here. Good weekend for you guys and your team last Friday night at Chico.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good redemption from the last time I showed up to Chico.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's see, that would have been Mini Gold Cup weekend. So about 2 months since you'd been to Silver Dollar Speedway, and I think you were even at DNS on that March date, but leading all 30 or all the entire distance for the Sport Mod feature, there was a lot of calamity behind you, and that was one of those deals where it's good to be out in front.
Yeah, that was. I saw the replays of it, and I'm just glad I started in front of all that, because it would have been. I mean, I'm sure it was cool if you weren't in it, but sure. I'm glad I wasn't.
Yeah. No, there was some deck stomping, some roof patting, and all sorts of wild things. I mean, for you, you're leading a race, and then all of a sudden you come around, and it's like something out of like a biblical rapture where people just start disappearing out of nowhere. So,
yeah, it was. I'm just glad it started on the pole and didn't end up in that. That would have been bad.
Yeah. Well, your 2024 season so far. For the features that you've started, you've yet to finish outside the top 5. You had a couple of great outings at Wairika Speedway for their opener back in late April. 3rd and a 5th place finish. It seems like you guys have really found, even though it's a limited amount of races you've ran, just in a good groove, and you guys have found some stuff and just some speed.
Yeah, we got a pretty good program going on. The start of the season was kind of rough for the first race of the season, going out running hot laps, and then on a brand new motor, and then a 2 laps of the heat race, blew 4 holes in the block. That was unfortunate, and then just trying to scramble, trying to find a whole bunch of sponsor money, just trying to get back to where we were before, and Klein Motors, I had them rebuild it. I have nothing to say bad about them at all. They saved my season with the they helped us out on a brand new crate, and that saved my entire season right there, or else I probably would have been benched until probably next year.
Yeah. Well, most definitely this is a year that if you're a Friesen Performance IMC Northern Sport Mod racer, wherever you're from, whether it's West Coast, Midwest, you don't want to miss out this year, because there's some big money on the line. Obviously, Wairika has the $15,000 to win Northern Sport Mod Nationals, but you've got the R. Charles Snyder Salute. You've got a race like the Al Miller Memorial at Stockton, the Snyder race at Medford, and then Cottage Grove with the Ralph Bloom Memorial. I mean, there's some big money to win.
Yeah, just in the past couple of years, there's been a whole bunch of big shows for the sport mods, but I guess it's when it comes down to the car counts on a weekly show, and there's 30 sport mods, you got to put the money up to where the cars are. So it helps the sport mod guys, but I guess it doesn't really help the A mod guys, unfortunately. But you got to support what supports you guys, and what supports the summer track and all that. So
Well, and let's go to you and your story. Starting out, I first remember running into, of all places, it was like the Battle at the Border, Gold Beach, Oregon, Curry County Fairgrounds, on they had just had like a tsunami from that Fukushima, Japan tsunami, and they had like the aftershocks in Crescent City and wiped out their docks in California, and then just up the 101, Gold Beach. It was just like sideways rain. That's the first time I ran into you guys, and so you had been in the box stock division. I don't know if it was beginner box or box, so that's going back, gosh, 2011 maybe, spring of 2011.
Yeah, it was 2011, and that was, I want to say, my second or third year in box stock. We were like, yo, let's go, why not? And worked out pretty good. I slept the whole weekend. I don't remember a lot of it because I've been to a lot of races since then, but those wins, those big wins always stand out. And I mean, I have a few. It's not like a whole bunch, but there's a couple that haven't left my mind, and that's definitely one of them.
Sure. And, you know, for listeners that are just strictly a part of the IMCA world, where you live, obviously Silver Dollar Speedway is renowned for sprint car racing. The Gold Cup Race of Champions has been there since the early 80s, and you've got a bunch of names that have etched their legendary status at a place like Silver Dollar. But for you, where you started is where you started, where a lot of the talent that we see now, whether it's guys that are in the local NorCal area or the whole, you know, West Coast, or even guys that racing in the Midwest or on a national scale, Kage Karts is where you cut your teeth in. It places, you know, the Red Bluff Outlaws is renowned for wintertime racing, and then Cycleland Speedway in the summertime. Two distinctly different kind of racing styles that you kind of develop, but makes you kind of an all-round driver. I mean, but feel free to disagree with me.
No, I agree. I mean, the Red Bluffs are getting up on the wheel and make moves that are kind of either going to get you into the show or wreck your whole night because you missed entry or you misjudged a left front or something, and now you're up in the fence. And then there's Cycleland. That's just, I mean, that's a good momentum track. It's big, it's fast, and if you wreck there, you wreck good. Like I have a couple times, but that's just a good all. I mean, between those two tracks, which was mainly my two when I was growing up racing go-karts, those were the two that I raced the most. I mean, I think I ran 8 or 9 straight seasons at both of those tracks. I was definitely better at the rip up. I don't know. It was just up on the fast action. Stuff happens way quicker. Reaction time is the big one. And, yeah, that kind of started it off. And then we went to the Topher Classic in Boise, Idaho, also in 2000. I want to say 11 or 12. Those 2 years they kind of blend together. That was my big breakout year for the box stocks anyways. I don't remember how many wins we got, but it definitely went off to a whole different level. I think we ran like 98 races that year or something like that. It was a lot.
Well, I'm glad you bring that place up. That's a place that I had a privilege to go to a couple of times. Hawaii Motorcycle Club is what it was called. And you're like in this like ravine or something. Like you have these these hills. They're not mountains, but they just tower over you, and just something out of a Western, something out of like the movie Zulu, of just these all grass, huge hills with some incredibly steep banking, a grade, probably like, 30% or 30 degrees at some points. I mean, just amazingly scenic though.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of that trip driving. I mean, I was asleep most of the time because it was a long drive for me.
Sure.
But just the whole trip out there was a pretty cool experience. Never been there, and then I want to say I might have to look back at this, but I think I slept the whole weekend there too. I think it was a 2-day show. Won the heat race, won the main event the first night, and then won the heat race, the dash, and the main, and the overall of it. And you're never been to that track. I know we added like 90 pounds of lead because our weight rules were so much heavier. We went out with Tanner Carrick and his dad, and then it was just me and my dad that went out, and it was a pretty cool trip. I think Tanner, him and I went 1-2 the whole weekend.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So let's fast forward things. You've spent some time in the Kage Karts, and then the decision comes to do something else, get in a bigger race car. What was that conversation like, or what do you remember that conversation? And because you guys went straight to the sport mod, right? There wasn't any, you didn't do any hobby stocks, didn't do dwarf cars or anything. It was just straight to sport mods.
No, it was straight sport mods. So it was my last year in go-karts. I couldn't run open in Red Bluff because I'm an age. So we ran Lakeport for that season. And actually it was Joel Myers. We were helping him out on the kart stuff. And I mentioned I didn't want to run a sprint car. I mean, there was too many buddies of mine that have passed away, and then I was like, nah, I'll stick with something else. And then it was actually at the awards banquet when I was up there giving my speech to get my end of the year points trophies and stuff like that. I was Joel told my stepdad, my stepdad, and my mom that he would give us one of his old cars for free, and we just it was a roller. It was an older car, but just to get me something into the sport mods, and ever since then it's just been all sport mods.
And that was, first time I saw you was 2017. It was a little bit before than when you guys made the switch, right?
I think my first actual year was 2016. I think I ran a limited schedule of 4 or 6 races just because I wanted to keep the following year. I wanted the rookie status still to get rookie of the year, or at least attempt to, for the IMCA, the rookie drivers. And then also at the local track, I think I got it at Chico. But then after that, we got to the next year, which was my first official year, was 2017 with the Let's Go Sport Mod Tour, and that was my first official full season. I think I ran 1 or 2 go-kart races then, but we were mainly focusing on the sport mod.
Well, it's crazy you bring up Joel Myers because you know me, and we've known each other for a while. Is my connection with sprint cars. You mentioned Tanner Carrick too. Tanner Carrick has had a phenomenal 2024. He won the first open wheel race in the United States by winning the first night of the Chili Bowl prelim. And then you've got Joel Myers' son, Joel Myers Jr., who recently won the New Zealand National Championship. And for all you guys to be around each other and co-mingle with each other, it's just simply incredible, like how racing works, really.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Me and Tanner, over the off season, him and I went deer hunting, and we went. So I took him deer hunting, and then we went waterfowl hunting over the off season. So his and I relationship stays during the off season too. We get to see each other every once in a while, and just to do what we like to do, hunt, and obviously I see him a lot during the race season.
Sure.
And I mean, I don't see him as much since he went 360 410 race, and I went SportMods deal. So it's kind of, we don't see each other as much, but I think our friendship's still there, and we still hang out and get to do what we did as kids.
Well, that's super. Has he taken you out on the water at all? I mean, that's what he was doing a lot last year too. Was doing guided tours. What was it? Just out in the bay, right? Or no, they were going through the bay, out in the ocean.
Yeah, he has a hunting or waterfowl guide service too, where he takes people out on duck and goose hunts, and then he has the offshore stuff, which is the thing that I think he mainly does the offshore thing, but I may be wrong. So if he sees it and I'm wrong, well then I'm sorry. But yeah, I want to say his main thing's the fishing deal. But
yeah, it's just really super cool. How, I mean, racing's big. It's very large. It happens at a lot of different places around the world, but at the same time, the community. There's just so many connections. It's incredible. Last couple years for you guys has been rather successful. 2021 track champion at American Valley Speedway, now Quincy Speedway, and then last year winning the championship at Diamond Mountain Speedway in Susanville. Getting those championships on the road, basically having to log some miles, especially Susanville. Not really a direct route for you to get, a quasi-direct route to get there, but you know what I mean. It's not like racing Silver Dollar where it's in your hometown. You have to travel, but being on the road, you guys have had a lot of success. Last year you had 6 wins in 21 starts and 18 top 10s in 21 starts, which, I mean, you guys were zipping.
Yeah, I feel like once we got the new car, the Evo by Twisted from McClay Daily, that kind of turned everything around, and we got on the right path, and got some speed going. In 2020, when we bought the car, we won the opening night in Susanville, actually, and then so 2020 was definitely a struggle. We started off strong. Then after that, we just got tore up. We had a couple good finishes, but it wasn't like the last couple years where we were throwing up 8, 9 wins a year. But it was, and then 2021, that was, I think, the start of everything. Just get consistent with everything and finding speed, even more speed than before. And then 22 was kind of I think we got 4 wins that year. It was kind of a struggle. But the last year, I think that was my best season. I think it was 9. Well, it should have been 10 wins, but we got 9 because one night I got excused, but it's all good.
Yeah. Well, and your plans this year, is it going to be kind of hitting a lot of Wairika or going and trying to defend your championship at Susanville, or just going to switch it up a little bit?
I think I don't really have a plan. I'm just going to run what I can. I think I'm going to run all the Chico races just because they're 15 minutes from my house.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I'm going to hit all the big shows, or Medford, Wairika. Might go up to Cottage Grove. We'll see when that time comes. It's kind of hard to plan that far in advance, but yeah, I don't really know. We're just gonna run what we want to, and then just see what happens. Just have fun.
Are you looking to find that adrenaline rush but you can't because you're not at the racetrack? Well, check out the IMCA TV Replay subscription library to have access to thousands of hours of racing for just $24.99 a month. Relive all the moments of the Speedway Motors IMCA Super Nationals fueled by Casey's at Boone Speedway, the Harris Clash at Deer Creek Speedway in Spring Valley, Minnesota, the IMCA TV Winter Nationals at Kossuth Speedway in Somerton, Arizona, Florida's Clash on the Coast, and dozens of Speedway Motors IMCA weekly racing program racetracks from across the nation, as well as the IMCA TV Dirtcast podcast. Plus, 25% of that $24.99 monthly fee goes towards the Drivers Point Fund and is a great way to help out your local racers. In 2023, over $97,000 was paid out to IMCA drivers directly at over 50 racetracks across the country. Please note that live broadcasts are not part of the replay subscription. That's IMCA TV. IMCA TV, where America comes to watch racing. Well, we're going to get into a different topic, and it's a numbers topic. Number 44. Where does that come from? What's the story behind that?
So when we first moved to Chico, I'm originally from Petaluma.
Okay.
When we first moved, I mean I was 3 when we moved, so I call Chico my hometown because I went to school all till I graduated at Chico. So there's a MJ or Matt Shelton MJ Construction. He used to race sprint cars at Chico. When we first moved here, we had a whole bunch of rock laid down at the house, and he's the one that did it. And he's like, "You guys should come out to a Silver Dollar I raced." So that's really the only driver I knew at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his number was a 44, and that's kind of where that came from. He was the first race car driver I knew, and I watched, like, I actually see a car on the racetrack, so I just stuck with that. I think the first 3 or 4 years of my go-kart, racing was the same exact design wrap as his car.
Okay, I see that a lot when I'm at Red Bluff. It's like you have all these tribute cars. It's miniature versions. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, so that's where the 44 came from, and then I just stuck with it. I haven't even thought about it enough. Just stick with 44 until we decide to hang it up, and then it'll be retired unless someone else takes it.
Sure. Well, you talked about, you and Tanner Carrick having some excursions. For you, what do you like to do outside of racing to just kind of keep yourself occupied? I mean, obviously working on a race car, that takes up a lot of time and, working a job. But what are some cool things you like to do to pass the time?
So during the off season of racing, I actually have my own. I have my own guide service for waterfowl. I run waterfowl guided hunts, and then I work for another guide. So that's what I do from October to end of January. End of October to the end of January, I'll be out in the rice field with a group of guys, just to shoot birds.
Crazy. Well, at least you're not out in the rice fields like when there's all sorts of bugs that are like thick as fleas. Holy smokes! Going down, whichever way I'm going somewhere in California, it's like a hatch 24 hours a day.
Yeah, that was the bad part of racing cycling during the middle of summer. That's when the rice grass is growing, and the mosquitoes out there. You could use a whole bottle of mosquito spray, and they're still going to bite you.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, for people that have never been to Chico, obviously they have a racetrack, Silver Dollar Speedway, but I've been there through the years. There's some cool stuff to do. What do you recommend for some people that have maybe they've never been there and there's some points of interest to look at?
Oh man, I don't really get out in the Chico much, but at least I try not to.
Sure.
Um,
Well, it's a college town. They got a vibrant downtown bar scene, I know.
Oh yeah, so I mean, if you're into partying, there's a whole bunch of parties going on all the time. But I'd probably say if you want to like go see some stuff, probably Bidwell Park. I forgot the name of it, but it's like Monkey Face Rock. Yeah, and then I don't really know. There's a couple decent restaurants out here. I don't really get into town much unless I just go to work and then drive through town. I don't really.
Sure. Put in your time and head back.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great. It's been great to know more of your story and some of the things that you do when you're not racing. First and foremost, I know that you've got a great group of people behind you, and every time I talk to you, your list is always long, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I always like that because it means you have a lot of people in your corner, and I just want to give you a chance to thank some of those folks, whether they're individual people, family members, or even sponsors.
It definitely takes a group to get everything rolling out and rolling good. And I thank every one of I couldn't do it without any of my sponsors. I mean, it's hard, especially once you get consistent and all that, and you're running up front every weekend. It's definitely hard. So I mean, I definitely couldn't do without Clay Daly and Twisted Motorsports. Ever since we switched, I think it's 34 or 35 wins. I might be wrong, but I don't know. It's since 2020. I want to say it's like 30 wins, and then so definitely couldn't do without him. My dad, I mean, he's a lot of help, even though he might be a pain in the butt sometimes. Then my mom, my Uncle Nick has helped out a ton. So has my Uncle Matt, my Aunt Tony, and then Dandy and Staley Oil Company. He's out of Willows, California. He sponsors all my 91 for the year, and that's not cheap. So I think we went through 3 drums of fuel last year, so that's definitely a big help. And then TDS suspension, John Ralph with the Dick Sticks. I got to thank him for him. Then I have to thank Klein Engines. They definitely saved my season, and their motor's ripped right now. And then Winning Edge Carburation, Baker Trucking, Burt Endicott with Burt Squirt, North Central Hunts. Those are the guys that I guide for. So if anyone's listening and they like bird hunting, get with me, and we can get you on a schedule and get you some birds this year. And then Top Notch Cleaning, Chico Walker and Sausage, and then Tahoe Gear and Water, and then just everyone else that even if they buy me a tire, they buy my fifth half, they enter fee, whatever, it definitely goes a long way.
Well, super cool. Well, we thank you for taking the time, Tyler, and look forward to possibly bumping into you later this year. And I wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Ben.
Well, race fans, that does it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you continue to enjoy these upcoming interviews. We appreciate it if you would like and subscribe wherever you're listening, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever it's at. Give us a like and give us a subscription so that we can deliver more of these great interviews to you for your listening pleasure. In the meantime, wherever we're at, wherever you're listening, we hope you have a great rest of your day and a pleasant evening, and we will see you soon here at Highside Racing Promotions. Before we let everybody go, here's the upcoming schedule on IMCA TV of live pay-per-view events. The week is going to get kicked off at IMCA.TV with Hancock County Speedway in Britt, Iowa, opening things up on Monday, May 13th. Tuesday, May 14th, Clay County Fair Speedway in Spencer, Iowa will be hosting racing action. Wednesday night, tune on in at Stuart International Speedway for Wednesday, May 15th in Stuart, Iowa. Thursday, we'll have a pair of races, Algona, Iowa's Kossuth County Speedway, and also Park Jefferson International Speedway in Jefferson, South Dakota. Friday, May 17th, we'll have a loaded card of options. Davenport Speedway in Iowa, Mandan, North Dakota's Dakota Speedway, Murray County Speedway in Slayton, Minnesota, Black Hills Speedway in Rapid City, South Dakota, and Wairika Speedway in California. Saturday programming will include Crystal Motor Speedway in Michigan, Iowa's Boone Speedway, also in the Hawkeye State, Makokata Speedway, Eagle Raceway in Nebraska, North Central Speedway in Brainerd, Minnesota, Grays Harbor Raceway in Elma, Washington, Harlan, Iowa's Shelby County Speedway, Southern Oklahoma Speedway in Ardmore, Oklahoma, Electric City Speedway, Great Falls, Montana, Cottage Grove Speedway in Oregon, California's Bakersfield Speedway, and Wairika Speedway, north of the border action at Estevan Motor Speedway, Mojave Valley Raceway in Bullhead City, Arizona. Closing out the weekend on Sunday, May 19th, Benton County Speedway in Benton, Iowa. Also in Iowa, Dubuque Fairgrounds Speedway, Nodak Speedway in Minot, North Dakota, and Clay County Fair Speedway in Spencer, Iowa. The County Fair Speedway going to be the place to be on Monday the 20th, Tuesday the 21st, and Wednesday the 22nd for the 250K Challenge. And for more information, to check up the updated schedule and how to order your pay-per-view events, log on to IMCA.TV. That's IMCA.TV, where America comes to watch racing.